Good day to all. We are very excited today to discuss about the IBM ISP program through this webinar. I'm Nishant Srivastav, Director BizDev APAC at Anglepoint, and I will be your host for the webinar today. Along with me, we have got a great panel today from IBM, Canara HSBC, one of the ISP client, and Anglepoint. So let me go ahead and introduce you to the panel here. So we have got Mr. Sanjay Saxena, who is Director Worldwide IBM ISP, Meghna Kandivilkar, who is the ISP Leader, India, South Asia, Mr. Ravi Ramananda, who is Assistant Vice President at Canara HSBC, Javier Moreno, who is the Vice President Worldwide IBM Sales at Anglepoint. So with this, from the webinar today, what we expect to cover is what is ISP program and why it came into being, some of the benefits and obligations of the program, and what is Anglepoint role in the IBM ISP program, and some of the key differentiators from Anglepoint towards the ISP program. What are some of the next steps for organization to engage into this IBM ISP program? And in between, we will also have Mr. Ravi Ramananda from Canara HSBC to share their experience on the with the ISP program. So Canara HSBC is one of the clients which is into this program for the last 3 years. At the end, we will open the forum for panel questions. We wish to have a very fruitful and interactive session here today. So please be open to ask as many questions you have during the session of the webinar. And needless to say, further to the webinar, we will be happy and look forward to connecting with you in near future through calls, meeting, whichever the medium you prefer, if you are interested to enroll for the program, or you require any additional information or clarity on the program. So with that, I would just start with a small introduction to Anglepoint. Anglepoint was founded way back in 2009, spread across 10 countries with close to 200 professionals worldwide. Anglepoint is one of the leading service provider in the ITAM and cloud managed service space, where we have helped organization with overall SAM governance and maturity assessment aligned to ISO 19770 standard. So we have helped organization manage their software assets effectively to mitigate the unforeseen risk and potential cost avoidance, derive the cost savings based on in-depth analysis of the OEM contracts in their environment, in their enterprise. We are a tool agnostic company, so we have helped organization in implementation and management of various item tools to effectively manage their software and hardware assets. As you might know, some of you might know, the survey from Gartner, Anglepoint is a well-recognized leader of the Gartner SAM Magic Quadrant for the last 4 years now. So proud to make that statement. This is since the launch of the quadrant in the 2020. Since the last 4 years, we have ranked number 1 in among 11 service providers in the critical capabilities for software asset management, which includes product services, hybrid, schedule, and cloud SAM services. We have got about 60 expertise on 60 plus IBM, 65 publishers, including IBM. So with IBM, I would like to say it is one of the key publishers where we have gone above and beyond to partner with IBM on the ISP program, which is designed to proactively help organization with an innovative approach to software asset management, help them optimize the license, and minimize the audit disruptions. So with this, I will hand it over to Sanjay, who will enlighten us more about the ISP program.
Thank you, Nishant. I want to, as the charts move on, I want to start with first acknowledging the time that you have made to participate, because that's important. And then I want to go first into the background of why we created the IASP offering. And underpinning that is an acknowledgement that IBM software licensing is not simple. It's rather complex, perhaps one of the most complex in the marketplace. It places a certain onus of responsibility on us to try and continually simplify, but it also creates the responsibility on us that the clients have options to verify what is it that they have purchased, what is it that they use. And that establishment of a discipline has taken time. If you look back in tradition terms, we have, like many other publishers, used audit as one route, software license audits. And over time, they not only became cumbersome, they became disruptive for our client set. We sat back and listened to what the clients had to say. And then in 2019, we launched the IASP offering as an alternative to help clients verify and meet with their obligations once they have purchased IBM software. We appointed 4 partners, Anglepoint being one of them. In fact, Anglepoint is unique in the sense that they are the sole non-regulated, non-accounting or audit firm, but they're here because of their very long history of working with IBM and being absolutely eminent in terms of how they have led with thought leadership around the subject of multi-publisher licensing and how they've helped clients all around the world. And it gives me great pleasure in saying that some of the largest clients of IBM in the world, who also belong to the Fortune 250, Fortune 500, are clients actually of Anglepoint. If you look at where we've gone from 2019, the program has continually evolved in order to make it more attractive for the clients. If you imagine, we began with what you could call a period of deep distrust between clients and IBM, where they felt that IASP must have some hidden agenda behind it. And that, over time, eroded itself. Of course, all of us worked very hard to dispel that myth in the minds of our clients. But if you now look at it, we are on track for end 2023 to have about 500 or more clients globally, of which there's a small amount of clients who participate in this offering, took it on in India and South Asia as well. Having said that, what has begun to evolve is that while verification for every publisher, for every client, remains quite relevant, there's something more that is getting established in the marketplace. You are beginning to see the evolution of a certain discipline at the client side, where the client, in pursuit of its own agenda of moving up the food chain of IT as it evolves, and in the context of hybrid cloud and AI journeys that a lot of the clients have embarked upon, it becomes very important for all of our clients to understand what is that they consume on a routine basis. Now, IASP using a third party like Anglepoint becomes a very convenient first step in that direction. It helps our client set to know what they've purchased, what they have deployed, what they need to renew. And those are benefits in my mind which are more important than the benefits that you see listed here on the left side of the chart. Yes, there is an audit exemption. Yes, you get to see subcapacity licensing benefits. You get to see a relief from back maintenance or anything that is deemed as punitive. If you also realize the role of these 4 IASPs and Anglepoint here in particular, you find that they don't resell software as their main pursuit. They are deep specialists, and Anglepoint is a very, very eminent specialist, not just in IBM software, but as Nishant said, in over 65 publishers across the world. And I'll let Javier talk more about why we think Anglepoint is very, very special in what it does across the world. Now, if you move across to the right side of this chart, you see that the big word obligations. Coming into the IBM IASP offering is by invitation. And it's a very fine balance because clients may choose not to adopt it. And that's absolutely fine. The clients say that, look, we're not willing to go down the path yet, and we're happy for you to come and audit us as and when the cycle is present. But if you look at what happens when you enter the IASP agreement, then it's quite a set of simple steps. As a client, you will sign with IBM an IASP agreement, and that is a $0 cost entrance into an agreement, but it places a set of obligations. As a result of those obligations, our clients are expected to look at who they will choose as their moving forward service provider for SAM managed services. And then you have a defined period of time, varies based on the complexity of your estate and what you agree with IBM. In that time, you go through your own procurement process, financial approvals in order to appoint an IASP. And after that, the IASP goes to work on your behalf, and they help you generate what you would call an effective licensing position. That becomes the first major baseline. And after that, there are period obligations every quarter, biannually, and annually in the certain classification of software. And then as you move forward, even at the time of baseline, there are no surprises for you because you're working very closely with the IASP. You know how the estate and its effective licensing position is evolving. If there are any gaps, you make good by making a commercial purchase as per the terms that you have for software purchasing with IBM in your market or geography. Any questions so far? No? Okay. I just want to briefly touch upon a survey that we conducted during the second quarter of 2023. And that was to reach out to our clients to assess how are we performing vis-a-vis their requirements, and how are our partners performing in terms of whether they're able to delight the clients or not. And that survey gave us a feedback which was essentially very, very high in its rating, to say that most clients were very satisfied after having entered the program. Now, one can take a look qualitatively at a survey feedback. The way I assess it from our perspective is that, as I said earlier, over 500 clients over the last 4+ years into the offering. And if you look at the attrition, it is less than 8% globally. That means clients have chosen to be in the offering, and then they are choosing to stay in the offering. That, I think, is the biggest accolade that the offering has in the marketplace when it comes down to discussing the subject of IASP and why it's relevant for you. I'll pass it back to our host, Nishant, if there's nothing else for me to say on the chart.
Thanks a lot, Sanjay. At this stage, I would like to invite Ravi to just talk about his experience with IBM ISP program from Canara HSBC. So, Ravi, do you want to just tell us that why at the first place Canara HSBC opted for this program, and what has been the experience so far?
Thanks, Nishant. And there was a very good introduction from Sanjay, and thanks for that. And good day, all. So the journey of ISP started 3 years back. So when I got integrated the company of HSBC Life Insurance, so there was a lot of complications, like especially at one of the things said by Sanjay, that it is not just straightforward licensing, it is complicated. Sometimes you are overage, sometimes you are underage, like you don't know how the license product works. You should have a very good math on that. or sometime even you require a good resource in your own company to handle the complete licensing. It's not just IBM. It's like how it all works. But experience started like 3 years back when we were like we wanted to do a lot of even the business impact analysis because we charge to the what respective BUs for any kind of things they are using. So that in point in time we were completely clueless. So we just had overall what license we have. We are not aware where exactly we are using it. So that was the time where we discussed within our IT, we took it our management, and that's where we Authorized ISP program, through this ILMT tool. Therein, even Anglepoint was pitched in with us, and it was initially like for one licensing, means for IBM licensing or any kind of license, we were like completely like 10 to 15 guys getting involved and getting all the things from the server. Like it was all not in a systematic way to understand where exactly we stand. But Anglepoint with the ISAP program majorly. So wherein initial step was bit new to us. We didn't understood that whether we are going in the right path. It took almost 3 to 4 months along. And from that humongous 10-15 people getting involved in license, it was through this ISAP program. Now currently it is handled by only two resources from our side and supported by Anglepoint. So it was completely streamlined. Today, so what is the beauty of this ISAP program is like from the lowest order of the people working from technology level to the highest level of the management. The visibility of the product, IBM product we are using, where we are using, for applications we are using, what kind of productivity tools we are using. So it is completely like purely transparent. So I no need to ask anyone. No one will come to me. We just publish the report on monthly basis or quarterly basis. So that is so easy to understand. So that's where we are standing today after 3 years of this program. So a lot of things went through, a lot of understanding, a lot of upgrade, a lot of tweakings. It was excellent, but we got we got into this program very fastly. We understood this program very fastly. So that is the simplicity also. Though the licensing is complex, the simplicity of the program is so beautiful. Everyone in the organization understand. So that is what the visibility we have got through ISAP program. So that's right, Nisha.
Thanks, Ravi. Thanks for the feedback.
May I just add one thing here for Ravi, because first of all, I want to thank you, Ravi, for your absolutely candid comments.
Yeah.
I also wanted to say that what you have highlighted as the key benefit, apart from transparency, it's the savings that you have incurred that are visible to your senior leadership, that 15 people having a conference to agree on one product and its licensing and its deployment. Now you have automated those things. That's one. Now, if you're doing this across just IBM estate, nothing stops you from horizontally asking Anglepoint to say, all right, can you take a look at another very complex element of our publisher that we have got? And why I say that is that it's a very unique strength of Anglepoint and its capabilities, both on automation and depth of understanding, that they can horizontally take you across multiple other publishers and accord you the similar savings, similar simplicity, similar transparency, and more efficiency within your leadership and your decision-making cycles.
True. I agree with that. Yeah,
exactly. And as a matter of fact, I think I meet Ravi on a fortnightly basis, and we have engaged more with Canara HSBC with I think 10 more publishers with this IBM. We started, and with the value of what Canara HSBC saw, we have we have grown here in Canara HSBC, extended our services to other publishers, and it's a constant conversation happening with Ravi in terms of how we can help them and what are the different things which comes up. So recently there was a discussion on SAM tool. So yeah, I think quite a good journey. Ravi, thank you for sharing your experience.
Thank you, Sinshan. Thank you.
Okay, so I think with this, we'll move to the next slide. So we move. I'll just pass it on to Javier to talk about what is Anglepoint role in IASP, some of our key differentiators. Javier, do you want to take this?
Thank you, Nishant. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And so, first, I want to take a moment to thank all of the participants here for both your curiosity and your interest. We're all usually facing some business challenge or other to overcome. And this is one of a long list of challenges we share in the IT industry. And therefore, your time and interest in looking at potential solutions is of value to your respective businesses, and we thank you for your interest. I also want to take the time to thank our very strong and leading partners in IBM. Sanjay and I have worked together for close to 2 decades, and I've had the opportunity to work with Meghna now for several years. As a matter of curiosity or interest, I recently retired from IBM, and post my retirement, decided that I was still too focused and interested in making a difference. And so the opportunity to join the Anglepoint family, based out of Canada, I'm based in Toronto, made itself present, and I leaped at the opportunity. And so Anglepoint as a global company has reach, and as Nishant stated earlier, we have experts in our business across the globe, which, from our perspective, gives us the opportunity to collaborate with you and your businesses as you operate in multiple time zones and multiple regions and countries. The team that we bring forward from an Anglepoint perspective is a skilled one, and we've roughly over 200 professionals at the moment. We have been growing. I am proof of that growth. We have people from various publishers, whether it's Microsoft, Oracle, IBM, and other large publishers with decades of experience that is brought to bear with respect to licensing. We have folks that have joined our team from some of the major auditors, whether it's KPMG and Deloitte, as well as from other SAM consulting companies like Software One. And they share the common goal to be part of one of the most expert and capable teams in the globe at this time. And so we believe that what makes our culture work is our focus on these people that are there to serve our clients. It's our goal to deliver value in everything we do. And that goal is focused on improving everything that we're involved with. And so, to that end, we've made significant investments in automation in our Elevate platform. And maybe we can move to the next slide, Ravi. Or sorry, Nishant. And so just on the point of complexity, IBM in the IASP program allows for 3 tools to be utilized by clients as part of the validation effort of counting their products for subcapacity, eligibility, and pricing. The first and primary one is the IBM License Metric Tool, ILMT. It's made available to our clients for free by IBM. And it is a self-support, self-managed, forum-based kind of utility, by nature of the fact that it has no cost to clients. It is a world-class product, but it is not the most intuitive tool available. There are other options that can be had by clients, such as BigFix or Flexera, and these are both world-class leading tools in this space that clients can use to engage in managing their software assets for IBM, as well as for other publishers. Beyond this, IBM has also authorized Anglepoint to work with clients in scenarios where the client has an investment in some other software asset management tool. And Nishant, perhaps we can zoom in on the ITAM tools. And so beyond BigFix and ILMT and Flexera, Anglepoint also has the ability to engage with clients that are considering the IASP program, have already made investments in tools like ServiceNow or Snow or USU, and collaborate with the IBM lab in validating that Anglepoint, with the assistance from our client, can engage to deliver what is an acceptable view of the subcapacity environment with these other tools as well. As Sanjay pointed out earlier, we have over 65 publishers that we support beyond IBM and Red Hat. And so for those environments, it's our focus to ensure that we leverage the investments clients have made in the tools that they have to guide them in leveraging those investments in the best way possible, and to allow them to move forward and reach the outcomes. Nishant, if we could zoom back out. And so, next page, please. We've provided an example of some of the largest clients that we work with around the world. It is our hope to begin to include in this sample of logos of clients that we work with many of the large companies that are based in Asia Pacific and specifically in India. And so in that regards, I do want to give a special thanks to Ravi Ramananda from Canara HSBC for their sponsorship, their engagement, their belief in our capabilities over the last 3 years. We truly appreciate the partnership, and we look forward to many continuing years of support as we continue to work on the IBM platform, but also engage in some of the other vendor platforms. Next slide, Nishant, please. So before we go on to this slide, perhaps it would be of value to bring in Ravi to comment with regards to our engagement in supporting Canara HSBC and the tools they've had to implement and use as part of the report efforts for IASP. Ravi, can you make a comment?
Yeah, it was initially the ILMT is what we also deployed with at least 2.5 3 years back. So that's way that the tool deployment, all these things was very smooth. Support from the Anglepoint was excellent during that point in time, because I might not be very new to the ISP program understanding, but the complete organization was very new to this, and people were very new to this. So, but the integration happened within no. It didn't took much time for us. It was a complete a smooth journey for us. As I said before, it took approximately 3 to 4 months for us to completely understand this program, and integration happened within weeks. It didn't even took us 2 months. So it was a well-driven program. Understand, because until unless we don't understand what we are trying to explore, because as you are aware, whatever we are deploying in the infrastructure, everything has to go according to the security, whether the things are going well, whether we are confined to what the policy the company is happening. So we have to think in multiple way. But the way the Anglepoint and IBM ISAP program understanding, they got into it, and we wanted, actually. It's not like that anyone reached out, but we reached out to understand, guys, we need your support, and that support went very well, and the integration was very smooth.
I would just like to add a little bit into the Elevate part. So the uniqueness of the Elevate, what we have brought in, is that it is very easy to use tool. It's like easily integrated with ILMT. Some of the things which set this apart is the automation that we can apply through Elevate. The turnaround time for the reporting is highly improved. So you can imagine in the ILMT, where you have to spend about 300 hours to just manually classify the components, it can be done in 50 hours in Elevate. So we have got the profiles which are already built in, which has been which are being tied to components. So the turnaround time to report is significantly improved with the usage of Elevate, and it is very easy to integrate. I mean, not in complex integration. It can be done through an API import, and we have about 5 to 6 steps to follow. So very easily understandable for the client, and that has helped a lot. I mean, with ServiceNow also, we have developed an API which has which can be used to integrate the Elevate into the ServiceNow with an API import. So I think to start with, ILMT and ServiceNow is something which is working very well, and then we are also exploring other tools like Flexera and the Snow, which is like something which we also help customer in generating the IBM reports. Now, in terms of the when we talk about the non-ILMT data, which is like something which is not recorded in ILMT, the non-PView data, that is something also we have got about 100 methodologies in Elevate to make the person who's responsible for giving us the data understand those steps and go through those methodologies, so that they can give us the required data. So we also use Elevate for project management, where we can assign specific tasks to different people in the organization, like a person managing something on WebSphere, or something, some person managing on database. So we can assign those specific tasks to the owners, and they can provide us the required information. So we use it for project management as well. We use it for automation reporting. So I just wanted to add these things about Elevate. So at this stage, before we move on to the next slide on the next steps, I would just take a pause and would see if there are some questions coming in. to address?
I believe, Nishant, there was a question around confirming the tools that are approved by IBM in the IASP program. And so I had responded in the Q&A that there are 3 approved tools from IBM on the subcapacity reporting requirements. Those are naturally ILMT, Big Fix from HCL, or Flexera. Those are the 3 tools that are approved. Inside of the ISP program, IBM will also consider and support an appropriate plan developed by Anglepoint with the client in working to leverage 3 other tools, ServiceNow, Snow, and USU at this moment.
Yep. Okay, so thanks, Javier, for addressing that. I would invite Meghna to talk about the next steps. What are some of the things which organization need to? I mean, this is not so complicated. I mean, we made it very crisp. But Meghna, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Thank you, Nishant. And firstly, thank you, Sanjay, Javier, Ravi. It's pretty simple, as Nishant said, but I'll just lay down a few steps here. Per se, there's no selection criteria as such, but yes, it is by invite. Typically, clients who have mix of preview and non-preview softwares, those are the clients who offer it. So that's pretty simple. IBM software, mix of preview and non-preview, predominantly if it's preview, it makes more sense because of the installation of the tools, etc., and to manage the entire installation and also in terms of generating reports and presenting them to you on a quarterly basis. So that's how it is. But just to get in touch, you can either call Anglepoint directly. The contacts are mentioned in the slide, or you can directly contact me, and I can take you through the entire program. Of course, when it comes to Anglepoint, they will submit nomination to us, and then we go ahead with the approval process internally, and then share the ISP agreement. It's a simple document which basically lays down the deliverables and the terms, so that there's complete clarity and transparency in terms of what the partner is delivering to you and what is the IBM expectation from this agreement, which is in line to our software terms and conditions. So that is basically a non-commercial document, and it is an addendum to our existing software contracts. And that once that is signed, of course, the next step is to engage with the ISP partner of your choice, like in this case is Anglepoint. Then you obviously can discuss over and above the bare minimum deliverables that are there outlined in the ISP document. And if there is any additions, you can kind of customize it according to your requirements and sign up with the partner and start the engagement. So that's how it is. And then obviously there are timelines defined, and based on those timelines, the partner will help you meet those in terms of reporting, etc. So that's about it. And the details, etc., into the agreement, any concerns can be discussed with IBM and can be addressed. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you. Over to Nisha.
Thank you, Meghna. So with this, we will like to open the panel for the questions here. So yeah, please feel free to post your questions on the chat box. and there are some questions which are already been addressed, but we are happy to take on the questions here.
Nishant, there was one question which I wanted to touch on just for clarity to make sure we did not confuse anyone with respect to our mention of Elevate. So, Elevate is Anglepoint's platform for project managing, for communicating, for transferring data, and for guiding our clients through the steps that are required to provide product counts for any of the subcapacity PVU products and any of the non-subcapacity products that IBM publishes. So whether it's an authorized user or a terabyte count or a socket count or VPCs or PVUs, the Elevate platform is like a library that has instructions for every D part number that IBM publishes. And those are made available to our clients to assist them and guide them through the process of this is what you need to do to come up with the count. And then it provides an upload capacity so that when your task is complete and you've got an output report or some script or some screenshot, you can simply upload it inside of Elevate, and the project management option will mark that task complete, and our analysts can continue to work with the next person and the next product owner involved in your environment to keep the project moving forward. Elevate is not a tool that is involved in doing any counting. So it has nothing to do with that process. And so hopefully that is clear.
Yeah.
Great. We've had a few more questions come in as well, and people can continue to submit those as they do. But one that came through, Nishant, here is if a customer has received an audit letter, will signing up for ISP cancel that audit?
Yeah, Meghna, Sanjay, do you want to take that?
I would say it would not be the most appropriate time, but nothing stops the client from having that conversation. And it becomes a case of local decision making. So it depends what Meghna thinks of a situation in ISA, what the client reservation is, and why they're choosing to not be audited when they never reached out in the first place to IBM to say, we would like to opt into this offering. Is there any way that we could be potentially invited, etc.? So it becomes a bit of a qualitative assessment. There's no hard do's and don'ts around that. But having a detailed conversation with the leader in IBM in ISA goes a long way in terms of being able to arrive at a quick decision which way this has to go.
Great. Yeah, there was another one that came through. Let's see here. It is, does IBM grant an automatic waiver to customers under ISP on any unintentional or accidental deployments, so long as they are remediated?
The short answer is yes. Every such installation is first picked out by Anglepoint as your service provider. Logically, the steps are Anglepoint, during its course of the service, is able to pick out anomalies. They could be intentional, they could be unintentional, they could be in production, they could be in non-production. There could be value being derived from a software use. All of those things leave their footprints in the sense of IT time, right? So if you park that thought process for a minute, the idea of being an IASP is not to find out a client on the wrong side of law in terms of the licensing rules, terms, and conditions. It's a very common sense discussion where you can sit down as a client of IBM software using the ability that your service provider, Anglepoint, has given you to discuss it absolutely black and white. These are the facts. We have not used this software for production. We have not had any benefit of it. It was accidentally downloaded in server A, B, or C. And now we don't believe that we ought to be paying for it. It's a very simple, logical, yes, of course, the client should not be paying for it. And it's happened in many instances. But the partner in this instance is the best assessor of this, because there are instances where I can cite that even, for example, I'll give you a very live example. Let's just say, hypothetically, it's Ravi, his entire IT estate. They're in IASP, but he could have a rogue developer within the organization somewhere who's downloading software from catalog for doing stuff that could be not in the interests of Canara HSBC from a business perspective. Now, that becomes an isolating incident, and Ravi is the best judge to say, how are we going to deal with this? But the occasion to provide transparency through the services of Anglepoint and then back to IBM lays down a very strong foundation to say, we have a rogue operative who's been playing around with this software, nothing to do with the corporate objectives, nothing to do with corporate productive use. Can we please isolate this instance? I have personally done that, and in ISA. So it's not something that it's a black and white, that just because software got downloaded, the client must pay for it. This, I think, becomes a very fine benefit of how to establish trust and transparency between client and IBM using the partner, because they're the ones who have actually highlighted this back to the client even before it comes to the notice of IBM. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a fantastic answer. Thank you. I think the next one that we have is very similar and related. But we'll address it just to make sure we cover everything. But it says, can the customer optimize its environment before submitting reports to IBM?
You typically highlight. So the reason we trust our 4 partners, Anglepoint, because they have certain integrity, which is simply amazing. What does that mean when we say our partners have integrity and deep expertise? We are blind to what is going on at the client estate. By being in the IASP offering, we have not appointed what I would call spies across the client estate to keep informing IBM of what's going on. That is not the intention. The intention is not to find out a client on the wrong foot. It's simply to establish trust. When it comes to the subject of optimizing, your partner will advise you what is within the boundaries of optimization, what is the definition precisely as we have laid out between our partner and ourselves for the use of the client to say, this is what optimization ought to look like. If a client has had productive use of software and it may be on the track of divestment or lowering of usage into the future, for sure you will do that into the future. But in that instance in time when the incident is highlighted by your partner and you have taken a business look, it makes for common sense that the client pays for what they have used, and IBM is not in the business of wanting to find out a client and then impose a punitive charge on the client. This is simply saying, please use and pay for what you use, and if you're happy, buy more, use more, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's fantastic. Okay, so that's all the questions that we had come through. If anyone has any additional questions, or if you're watching the recording and something else comes to your mind, please reach out to us. You can contact any of the panelists directly, or you can send an email to info@anglepoint.com. But once again, yeah, just keep an eye out for that recording that we'll send tomorrow. And again, thank you for joining us. Thanks to the panelists, especially. We really appreciate you all taking the time, and hope that this has been very beneficial to all. But thank you so
I
much.
hope you will also share with all the attendees the IASP white paper,
Yes,
because
Yeah,
that
good
also
call.
explains a lot of things that the prospects or clients may not know about. But it's quite a comprehensive white paper that we published in July, which I think will make for interesting reading, because it connects many dots that keep the leadership of business in our clients awake. And it's got very little to do with the verification options, whether it's audits or IASP or others. It's more to do with where the business is going, and how this first step of having clarity on base usage helps our clients to carry on that journey into hybrid cloud.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. We will share that in the email as well. And yeah, if you have any questions, reach out. But thank you all for joining, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you for facilitating.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. And thank
Thank
you for
you.
joining
Thank
us.
you. Take care.
Bye all.